Every single day, literally millions of times over, businesses are locked in this formal dance of buying and selling. It's the engine that powers our entire economy, but most of us never see the steps. Well, today, we're going to pull back the curtain and break down that dance, move by move. Really, think about it. How does that happen? It's not magic, and it's definitely not random. Whether you're talking about a tiny corner cafe or a massive corporation, getting the stuff they need to operate is a really carefully choreographed process. And we're about to walk you through exactly how it works. So here's our roadmap. First, we'll start where it all begins, the search. Then we'll move into the offers that come back, the all-important handshake that seals the deal, how you handle the bill, and finally, my favorite part, how smart businesses can actually save some money in the process. Okay, so every single transaction starts with a simple need. But before a business can just go out and buy something, it has to ask the right questions to the right people. And this first, absolutely crucial step is called the enquiry. Think of an inquiry as your first move in this dance. You, the buyer, are basically just sending out feelers to a few potential suppliers. You're not committing to anything yet. It's purely a fact-finding mission to see who can give you the best stuff for the best price under the best terms. And here's the thing, being specific is everything. Just asking, hey, how much for your widgets? That's going to get you nowhere. A really strong inquiry gets into the details, quality, quantity, payment terms, everything. And this isn't just about being fussy. It ensures that the offers you get back can actually be compared apples to apples. It sets the stage for a smooth negotiation later on. All right, so you've sent out your inquiries. Now, the ball is in the seller's court. This is their moment to shine, their chance to win you over with a really compelling offer. And that offer comes in a document called a quotation. A quotation is the seller's direct answer to your inquiry. It's a formal written document that basically says, okay, here's exactly what we can offer, here's our price, and here are our conditions. This thing is a huge deal because if you accept it, its terms can become legally binding. It's really the foundation of the whole deal. And you'll notice this is the call and response part of the dance. A good quotation answers every single question you asked in your inquiry. It's like a perfect mirror image, making sure both of you are completely on the same page and talking about the exact same things. No confusion. Now, sometimes a savvy seller will throw in a little something extra along with their quotation, a catalog. This is their chance to show off everything they sell, not just the one thing you asked about. It's a pretty smart sales move, right? They use pictures and product codes to make ordering super easy and, hey, maybe tempt you with a few other items while they're at it. Okay, so you've laid out all the quotations you received, you've compared them, and you've picked a winner. You've found your partner for this dance. Now it's time to make it official. It's time to place an order. And this is the moment of truth. This is where the deal becomes real and legally binding. An order isn't just a casual request, it's your formal acceptance of that seller's quotation. This is the precise point where a simple conversation becomes an actual contract. And you guessed it, just like before, clarity is absolutely everything. Why? Because any confusion here can lead to some seriously expensive mistakes. I'm talking wrong products showing up, missed deadlines, or even legal battles. A really precise, detailed order is your best insurance policy for a smooth transaction. The order is in, the goods have been shipped, and now there's just one thing left. You gotta pay the bill. And in the world of business, that bill is called the invoice. So the invoice is the official request for payment. It's basically a complete summary of the whole deal, listing what was sent, the price you both agreed on, and the grand total you owe. It's the seller's way of saying, all right, we held up our end of the bargain, now it's your turn. But, people are involved, which means mistakes can happen. What if you look at the invoice and realize you were undercharged? Or maybe even worse, you were overcharged? Well, luckily, the world of commerce has specific documents to handle exactly these kinds of situations. First up, we have the debit note. The seller sends this if they realize, whoops, they didn't charge you enough on the original invoice. It's pretty much an additional bill to fix that mistake and, increase the total amount that you owe. And then on the flip side, you've got the credit note. This is what you get if you were overcharged or maybe you had to return some items that were faulty. It's a note that tells you your account has been credited, which either lowers the amount you owe or confirms that you'll be getting a refund. So here's the simple way to remember it. A debit note means the buyer's debt goes up. A credit note means the buyer's debt goes down. It's that simple. And together, These two documents make sure everything is financially accurate, even if the first invoice wasn't quite right. All right, now for the final, and let's be honest, maybe the most interesting part of this whole journey. Because beyond all the official prices and invoices, there are ways for smart buyers to save some cash. And it comes down to two key types of discounts. So what's the real difference between these two? Well, think of it this way. A trade discount is all about who you are or how much you buy. It's a price cut you get for being, say, a retailer or for buying in bulk. But a cash discount, that's a reward for how you pay, specifically for paying that invoice off early. Let's run some quick numbers so you can see how this works. Let's say the list price for your order is 10,000 rupees, but the seller offers you a 20% trade discount. Well, that's 2,000 rupees right off the top. So the final price that actually shows up on your invoice is 8,000 rupees. Nice! But wait, the savings don't have to stop there. The seller also offers a 3% cash discount if you pay quickly. So you take that 8,000 rupee invoice, calculate 3% of it, which is 240 rupees, and subtract that. Your final payment is only 7,760. See, it literally pays to be prompt. So when you step back and look at the whole process, you start to realize these aren't just boring pieces of paper. From that very first inquiry all the way to the final payment, each document is like a chapter in a story of a relationship being built on trust and negotiation between a buyer and a seller. So we've walked through the whole formal process, right? The documents, the numbers, all the steps. But this entire dance, this whole system, it relies on something you can't print on an invoice. It relies on trust. So I'll leave you with this question to think about. What do you think is the most critical unwritten rule that truly makes this whole thing work?